In this video, we're going to be dividing decimals by whole numbers. That means that our decimal will be the dividend and our whole number will be the divisor.
So our steps, first of all, we are going to ignore the decimal and divide like normal.
And our second step, after we're done dividing, is we're going to move the decimal straight up, and you'll be able to see what this looks like when we do our examples.
So our first problem is 2 1/10 divided by 3. So when we work this out, we're going to work it out as if the decimal is not there at all.
So we're going to think about this. If we do our multiples of 3, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look and see, we're ignoring this decimal here. We're looking just at this 21. We know that 3 times 7 is 21, so it's going to work 7 times. And it's a single digit because it couldn't go into the 2. It could only go into the full 21. So we did the dividing part. We already know the multiplying is 21. Now we subtract. 21 minus 21 is 0, and there's nothing to bring down. So this division has been done using the divide, multiply, subtract, bring down process.
Now for your second step, you've completed the division. Now you need to move the decimal straight up. So if you look at your dividend, you see the decimal. You're going to go straight up into your quotient, and your answer is going to be 7/10. Now, when you divide more difficult problems that have decimals in the divisor, you're not always going to be able to just move the decimal straight up. But since we are just dividing by whole numbers, this is the way that you do that.
All right, let's look at another example. And once again, we're going to do our multiples. And I know you're thinking, man, these are really simple ones, but this just gets you into the practice when you do have larger problems. Okay, so I have all my multiples of 5, and I first look and I say, can 5 go into 3? And I look over here and there's nothing that's going to allow that to happen. So now I'm going to look at 35, and I see that times 7 is 35. So I'm going to put my 7 right here because it wasn't able to go up here. So 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract. I have 0. There's nothing to bring down. So I just did the traditional algorithm without worrying about that decimal at all whatsoever.
So now I'm just going to move the decimal straight up and place it into my quotient, my answer. So my answer for this problem is 7/10.
All right, our third example is now 2 digits behind the decimal, but we're not going to worry about it at first. We're going to go through the normal process of dividing. All right, so I listed my multiples of 7, and I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to look, can 7 go into 2? That's not possible because this is smaller. So now I look at, can it go into 28? And I see over here that it can go 4 times. So I know that I have to have a digit here, which will result in a digit there. So 7 can go into 28 4 times, which is 28. I subtract. 28 minus 28 is 0, and now I have another digit to bring down, and I repeat the process. I say 7 can be divided into 7 one time here, and I know that equals 7. Subtract. I have 0 left. There's nothing else to bring down. So I just divided traditionally, didn't even worry about the decimal.
Now I need to put the decimal back into my answer. So I'm just going to move the decimal straight up. My answer is 41 hundredths.
And remember, you can check all of your answers by multiplying the quotient times the divisor. And we know how to multiply decimals, so that would be very easy for you to do. Now, on the student side, you're going to practice doing these 2 problems, and we will talk about them in class.